So we have a few questions over here. The first question I would like to ask is in relevance to the topics that both of you talked about. In today's world, with rapid growth and development in artificial intelligence, intellectual property, privacy, cybersecurity, it has resulted into creation of alternative legal careers and has transformed the ways in which law is practiced. In this context, how can the students approach such rapid changes and rising new arenas for their advantage?
So as I mentioned when I spoke, the law will keep changing as the industry changes. There is no one way of approaching it. The most freely available resources are now online. So whichever law that you just quoted in that list, or whichever field of law that you quoted in that list, all of the material is available online. For students' advantage or for a working professional's advantage, that is what we use. So we are not different. We don't have any different resources that are available. It's the same resources. Keep reading. There are legal journals. There are legal blogs that keep talking about new things. For example, somebody will be already talking about the Indian Data Privacy Act, though it is not notified yet. So you would already know what to expect. So that is how you will keep updating. You will keep pace with the law. You will keep with changing scenario of law. The technology is changing so fast that law is really just going to cope with it. We are not going to pave path for it. We are just going to cope with it. So that is how it is going to be.
So just one thing, don't restrict your knowledge to any particular geography, okay? So you can just keep on reading. Read about what are the, how are the provisions enforced in a particular geography, okay? Don't restrict it to India or a particular, obviously you have to know what Indian law is, but you keep on reading with respect to other geographies as well. And yeah, Priyanka has already mentioned the sources from.
Thank you, ma'am. Next question is why IT industry or corporate sector is much approaching towards ADR rather than court for finding justice? Court.
Actually, it depends on which geography again. So yeah. So it's not necessary. So in some geographies it might be a faster and a much cost-effective mechanism. But in some geographies it could be similar in terms of the time required or in terms of resolving disputes. So
just to add to that, that's a really good question because I find it difficult myself to just have a arbitration or mediation clause as a boilerplate because it is geography dependent. It is your company's risk appetite. At times, a company takes an approach that court mein jaane do, fir dekhenge. And then we will see because nobody stops you from negotiation even when you are in the court. You can always do a settlement and submit the terms in the court. So just having arbitration clause in $1,000 document or $1,000 deal value is not really feasible if the arbitration cost is going to exceed that amount. But arbitration is preferred. I will tell you why. Because generally arbitrations are confidential. If it is a very highly technically sensitive topic or a subject matter of the agreement, then companies want to keep that entire thing confidential and not take it to the court and discuss it in open courts. And that is why arbitration is preferred over court matters.
Next question is what is the scope of crypto or fintech lawyers?
There is no scope because it is not legal yet. But there will be. Not yet.
Legal drafts. Yeah. Next question is, considering the demands of the IT and corporate industries, we can say that lawyers need to be all-rounder in the legal field. Like they are required to have knowledge of IP, business laws, or human rights laws, constitutional laws, etc. So furthermore, with the latest trends of freelancing and upskilling, and as ma'am said, you have to work remote. So based on which factors should the students select the scope of their interests and how should they focus on their academic, personal and professional development?
Question itself is a thesis. I really she said that you have to identify your direction and then proceed in that. I quite differ with that because as a fresher, I never knew my direction. So I did my LLM, then I went to law practice and all of that. So that is one way of looking at it. Or second, you just get into one sector, you get acquainted with something, then take it from there. For example, there are lawyers, or I have friends who never liked or studied labor laws, are now labor consultants to the IT companies. I'm coming back to that topic because I can't stress enough how much we ignore that topic. So it's the academics actually, in terms of IT industry, not much can help you, but you will have to keep your knowledge base updated in terms of where the industry is heading. So for any in-house counsel's role, it is not what we learn in the school, but what is relevant. But what is relevant is what is the business for which you're working. So if you've identified that you have to be in a construction or builder setup, then you have to know Maharera. You can't not know that, or you have to know your land laws. Again, another subject that we've all ignored. So that is how it is. If you know your direction, you have to study the law. If you don't know the direction, then study the law or that sector before your interview.
Yeah, so one way of doing it, understanding your direction, okay, I've done that. So what I have done is during your college years, you can pursue internships in different segments, okay? So you can probably do an internship with in my case, I did an internship with a fertilizer company. I did an internship with an IT company. I did an internship with a law firm in Mumbai. I did an internship with a litigation lawyer in Pune. So what you can do is use this and utilize this time to explore different sectors, okay? And that's how you will get to know, how and which direction is perfect for you. It may be too early to say perfect, but yeah, certainly you will get to know which direction you need to proceed in, because from your academic knowledge, there is no way that you will get to know what and how the work is conducted, or how the work happens in any particular industry. I mean the legal industries, okay? So you can do this. So you still have time. You can explore by doing different internships, and I'm sure within a month at least you know what you need, what you like, and what you don't. So at least that will help you in identifying your direction. Is one way of doing it. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Any more questions? Okay. So, I, on behalf of the Training and Placement Cell of Marathwada Mitra Mandal Shankarao Chavan Law College, and on my own behalf, would like to extend a very hearty vote of thanks to Amruta ma'am and Priyanka ma'am for taking out their time to grace us with this very much informational and valuable presence, and for sharing with us your opinions about the career opportunities and what are the demands from the students who are applying for the same. So I would like to express my gratitude towards our respected guest speakers for covering important points, and mainly which are sensitive to the students. For example, learning land laws or labor laws, and telling us about the global exposure, what skills are needed during the interviews, clarity of basic concepts, what type of contracts are included in the job, what is the job profile, how it improves, what is the initial process, and what is the way forward. So thank you very much for the valuable information, and have an amazing day ahead. Take care. Thank you. Thank you very much.